Welcome to my Start Harp Level 1 taster little video. I thought I'd show you some of my favourite things that we talk about during Start Harp Level 1 and probably many of my other courses too, but some favourite bits out of the course, I suppose. So let's jump straight in. One of the things we talk about at the beginning a lot is, well, and forevermore really, is technique. And so here is a beginning person's hack, and this is a little check-in for anybody else who's been playing for a while as well, where we can just kind of look at what are basics. So first of all, I'd like you to imagine you are holding the handlebars on a bicycle. That's right. That's how we're going to practice our harp playing. So put your hands out in front of you as if you were holding the handlebars of a bicycle. But let's really engage with this process, okay? So let's really think about this. What would we need to do to hold the handlebars of the bike? Well, our fingers wouldn't be tucked right into our hands because they can't be, because there's the metal pole that runs down, the metal handlebar, in fact the bar, that runs down in between our hands. So that means that our fingers can't be tight in. Second of all, our fingers can't be out like this, can they, if we're holding handlebars? Because what would happen then? We'd probably fall off the bike. I certainly would anyway. So, I mean, you do see people going along really cool doing stuff, actually. Anyway, but I digress. We, in general, most of us, if we were riding a bike, would want to have some kind of cup inwards with our fingers around that bar, okay? The next thing is, let's think about the thumbs here, okay? So if there was a bar, you can just imagine like you are holding the hold of a broom or anything, I suppose. But if you were doing that, your thumbs would have to be out like this, okay? They can't dip in like that if you're holding the handlebars of the bike, because again, the pole is in the way, isn't it? It would stop them dipping in like that. So that gives you some foundations, and I'm going to carry on in a second. But what I would also say at this point is that if you rode your bike and you held everything really tight and you went riding it and you did like 2 hours or whatever, I'm going to bet that you would have aches and pains, okay, down your hands and your wrists and your tendons and everything. So just bear that in mind too. So that's another thing, we want to keep that position, but we're thinking about also using minimal effort for greatest reward, turning off all the muscles and tendons and everything that we can to while still sort of holding a position. Okay, now next thing is, we're really happy when we play the harp, so I want you to keep that position that you had with your sort of cupped hand shape and your thumbs outwards, but this time point your thumbs up, okay? So you've now got thumbs up as well. You've got thumbs up, you've got that little cup shape there, and you've got your fingers coming in, and just to be really specific, bending here from the second joint, not the first joint, but the second joint there, okay? So you can actually just check in with yourself. Now by changing our little imagining process, we can imagine this is a bird neck and this is its wing and flapping, okay? Now, that's kind of some of the foundations of sort of getting our beginning hand position, because if we then apply that to the harp and we take that hand position over onto the harp, if we then point the fingers down in that position, so that if we just imagine that we're pointing down towards the soundboard, so this is the soundboard on the harp. If you're really new to playing the harp, you might need to know those terms too, and the thumbs are pointing skyward, okay, and we're trying to keep as much relaxation in our hands as possible, which is something that we explore during the course of when we're going along. So there we are. That's what I wanted to say about that. There's one thing that I can't decide whether I'm going to share with you. I think I am. Okay, so here's another one that we talk about. Zombie harp playing. That's right, you heard me. Zombie harp playing. Okay, I'm going to have to move my hair out of the way for this, I think. So one of the foundation things that can happen, when we're working on our foundations, one of the things that can be really good to get comfortable with straight away is not holding tension in places that you don't need to in your body. So I'm sure there are many harpists out there like myself who've at some point had shoulder pain or back pain or wrist pain, and we've had to work our way through this. So we're trying to, as teachers, we're trying to save you from having that if you're a novice player yourself. So please listen to us, because often we've been there, bought the t-shirt, and we're trying to save you. So zombie harp, what's that all about? Well, it happened on a webinar at some point, and I was talking about this. If our shoulders are really complicated, aren't they? And there's like all these different ways that they can move. You can just experiment now. I know that you know, but it's just good to remind ourselves. Okay, so we're often told, relax everything, bring your shoulders down, keep your head poised. I've done Alexander technique lessons and various things over the years, so I've got all these things going on in my head. But something that I really took away was that the shoulders are really complicated, and it's very easy to tilt our shoulders in when we're playing one or other, depending on what we're doing, and we're trying not to. So here's the thing, if you imagine that you're really, really relaxed, well, try and be really relaxed. Shake your arms out by your sides, okay? So literally, give your arms a good shake with your shoulders nice and relaxed and fluid and as little tension as you can. You're not pulling them down, you're not pulling them up, you're just letting them be where they want to be. Okay, and then I want you to imagine you're a zombie by bringing out your arms like, like walking along like this. So by doing that, what I'm trying to get you to do is to think about what is the minimal movement you can do from get your arm from here to here. Do you have to roll your shoulder in? Do you have to tip it backwards? I'm not sure you're getting enough of me in the video for this to be useful. Are you doing lots and lots with your body that you don't need to, or are you literally able to just drop your hands at your side and then bring them up with absolutely minimal effort, greatest reward? Okay, so the zombie harp thing is something that I often sort of try and remind myself of if I think I might be twisting around. Drop everything down, give everything a good shake out, and then bring it up, zombie arms. And then if you combine that with the handlebar bike and the thumbs up, there's only kind of a few little tweaks you need to do. We bring the right elbow out. I'm looking at the video and anyway. We need to bring our left elbow up, and then depending on your teacher, you'll be told either to bring your elbow up or not to in the other arm. I have mine dropped. So you can see how those two things tie into one another. So handlebars, birds, and zombies. There we are. So some foundation harp techniques for you in a way you probably never thought you'd hear them explained. Okay, so I want to just give you a few other little things that I really like in the course. So one of them is that in Start Harp Level 1, I try and get you playing a tune as basically immediately, basically straight away, and we work on improvising, playing by ear, and reading music as if you've never done any of those three things before. So if you already read music, that's a bonus. That means that bit's easier for you. You can be really focusing on your technique, you're improvising, and you're learning by ear. Or if you have a forte, everyone has a superpower. When you come to music, you'll have a natural affinity to one of those three things: the by ear, the improvising, or the reading. You might be lucky and have all three, but generally we have one or two that we work on slightly more than the others, and one that comes more naturally. But know that it's a superpower, whichever one comes more naturally to you. There's someone else out there that wishes that was their superpower, so please know that. So congratulations on whatever your superpower is. Okay, so one of the little improvisations I do is if you're in C major. So if your harp, I can't go into the tuning in this video actually, but if you don't know how to set your harp into C major and you want to access this video, you can drop me an email and I'll talk to you about it. Tell me which harp you've got. But C major is where we're at. If you're in C major and you play all the white notes on your harp, you're going to get what's called a pentatonic scale, a 5-note scale. Now these, there's like actually gazillions of these, but this particular pentatonic scale is the one that often we get taught, like from primary school onwards. It's a very clever scale because it doesn't, it offers us the ability to play and improvise without anything sounding clashy, without anything sounding like uncomfortable perhaps, depending on your likes and dislikes of music. So pentatonic means 5, doesn't it, like a pentagon? 5-note scale. So if you're in C major, even if you've only learned to play with one finger so far, you can just try your way around the harp playing all those white strings, okay? So just miss out your red and black or blue strings, depending on what you've got, okay? And then it's quite fun even to alternate, to practice playing, doing left and then right, left and then right, just because it gets us playing all over the harp, okay? Now my harp rings a lot because it's an electric harp, so we'll ignore that for a moment. If you can play with more fingers, if you're watching this just out of curiosity, for instance, you can try going as low and as high swapping. You could give the left the groups of 2, the D and the E, and your right the G, A and B, and just practice going up and down. Now if you're a novice, obviously that was very fast, so just try playing it beautifully, and you can practice slowing down, making it really beautiful, okay? But my favourite thing to do with this is to take the G in the left and play a G, just a G, and let it really ring. So if you're already in a bit in the know with your technique, push on the string, squeeze, play in the middle, bring your finger right in so you get a really big round sound. Okay, and then with either both hands or just the right, try playing some notes, any of the white notes, not the red or the blue black, depending on which colour strings you got, okay? Play the G, play some white notes. Play what feels good, play what your ear likes, okay? and you just do alternating. Left plays the G, your right does things on white strings, your right does things on white strings. Play the G, then play some random white notes there. Play G, play some random white notes here. Play the G, maybe both hands do some notes together. Like that was alright, wasn't it? Play the left. If you are a more advanced player and you're thinking, well, Shelley, this is really easy, that's because it's Start Harp level 1. But I want to give you something else you can add to this. You know, play an octave in the left, for instance. I think you can even play a 1-5. Yeah, you can play 1-5-8 as well. And then you can do, you know, you can start flourishing all around your harp. I wish my F string hadn't completely gone pale, so I can't see it. But never mind, let's keep going. Okay, so you can, you know, you can really start to be fancy with your playing here. I also quite like doing coming down the harp and just playing all the white notes. That can sound quite cool for those who are more advanced. So there's all sorts of things you can do to make this improvisation even more fancy. But it's in its foundation way, if you're playing with just one finger and you play a G, play some notes, and then listen, and then play again. You can hear how you can make it really beautiful. I think, just really beautiful. Calm, slow, mesmerizing, happy space where you're playing both hands. There's no worry of wrong notes. You can just feel really calm and happy with that. And if you want to make it sound finished at the end, the simplest way is to play G and G, just to make that finish. There we are. Okay, one other thing that I thought I'd show you. At the very end of Start Harp level 1, everybody learns to play either Canon in D, a simplified version, but no less the Pachelbel's Canon in D, and we also, or Barambarou's March. Okay, so you can learn both, of course you can, but most people will learn one, certainly while the course is live. And so I just thought I'd show you. This is out there millions of times on the internet, but I just thought I'd just do this with you because it's so satisfying to do, I think. So, and it was the first piece of music I ever performed out, so it's kind of has a place close in my heart. I think an important place in my harp playing journey. So what I'd like you to do, if you can play with 4 fingers, if you can't yet, then you might want to just keep going with the improvisation for a bit and come back to this video at a later date. But if you already know about placing, then you can come and do this with me now, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to, and you have to know your notes and things, so this is a little bit, as I say, this is at the end of the 12 weeks. What we're going to do is we're going to put thumb on an A. Remember that high thumb we talked about, didn't we? Fingers pointing down now. We're going to go on F with 2, and we're going to go on E with 3, and we're going to go on D with 4. Okay? That's the shape we've got. Now look at this shape before you play it. Have a look at it. Have you got 3 strings close together? We've got D, E, and F are neighbouring strings, aren't they? So your 4, 3, and 2 finger are really close together. Yeah? Okay then. And then you've got a gap, haven't you? Where you're not playing G. And then you've got the A. That's the shape. Now what I'd like you to do is to just close your eyes and just think about how that feels, okay? So, you know, can you feel that there's a space where your thumb, between your thumb and 2, you know, what does that feel like under your hand? And what does it feel like having all those fingers very close together? And just really try and feel that shape so it really goes into our muscle memory is what we're trying to establish here, okay? So that we are really sure of that shape. So now take your hand away again and find those notes again. So going from the bottom up, I try and always teach notes from the bottom up. If you worked with me on one of my longer courses, you know why, but it's like to do with the harmony and things like that. So let's just do that and do place it on the left, but yada yada yada. Okay, so D, E, F, we were on D, E, F and A, weren't we? Okay, so and you could just practice playing them as a block if you like. So bringing your fingers into your hand and then relax it. Okay, so here we are. Now what I'd like you to do is to find that shape. So remember the shape. We're not thinking of notes now for a moment. The shape is that there are 3 neighbouring strings and then there's a little gap of a third, or there's a gap where there's just 1 string that you're not playing, isn't there? Okay, so let's do that. Put that shape now with 4th finger starting on C. So I've just moved my fingers down by 1, okay? So we're now, if that worked for you, that one step down for every finger, you should now be on C, D, E and G. Don't worry if you're not, obviously, we just practiced that. So you're now on C, C, D, E, G. Yeah, okay, lovely. Okay, so again, just feel that shape under your hand. Think about it. Really let your body think about where your arm is in relationship to your harp and everything like that to help your muscle memory. Okay, and then you can just play it and you can find them again in your own time, so that you just get used to finding those notes. Okay, and then we'll go back to the original one. So shift every finger up by one string. This is D, E, F, A. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, then what we're going to do now is we're going to try this. I'm not going to go into loads of stuff about the counting or the rhythm. Let's do it by call and response. So we're going to play the notes, the first set of notes, which was D, E, F, and A. And we're going to start with the thumb, and we're going to go top down, and this is what it's going to sound like. Okay, we're going to go 6, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and. Okay? So if I count you in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you go 6, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. So did you notice I did the D twice? So that was A, F, E, D, D. Yeah? So that's what I'm doing there. Let's slow it down. So we're going to do it, if you can, with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, F, and 2, E, D, and D. Let's do it again. Okay, so let's get everything ready again. That was, so you're on D, E, F, and A. We're going top down, thumb starting, and you're doing 2 Ds at the bottom, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and. Brilliant. Okay, now what happens in the tune is you go twice, yeah? And then, well, we'll just do that first. So I'd like to do that twice now, okay? So we're going to go 1, 2, so I'm back onto that D, E, F, and A, and we're going to go top down. 2 Ds at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, F, E, D, D. Put them back on and we're going to go again. I've paused, I know, but let's get everything ready. And now we're going to go A, F, E, D, D. 4, 5, 6, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and. Now what happens is you move down. Do you remember we practiced this already? Going to C, D, E, and G. I'm going to go 6, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and. So you're doing that same thing again, that same rhythm, I should say, on that shape, and you're doing it twice. So it's kind of like the bit we just did. It's just that you've shifted every finger down by one string only. Okay, and you do it twice. So let's do that together. I'll count you in 4, 5, 6, and you come in on beat 6. So 4. So this is your fingers are on. From the bottom up, C, D, E, G, but we're going top down. We're going to go G, A, E, D, C, C. Okay, 4, 5, G, E, D, C, C, and then we're doing it again. I'm going to pause for a moment, and you're going to do that G again. 4, 5, G, E, D, C, C. Marvelous. Right, now we're going to move the whole hand up, and we're going to do that other one that started on the A. So we're now on the notes D, E, F, and A. Now shape those 3 notes together and then the gap. And we go A, F, E, D, D, da, dum, da, dum, dum. So doing the same thing twice now, aren't we, that we just did. So let's do that again. So we're going to go A, F, E, D, D twice. Yeah? So I count you in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're coming on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and F, E, D, D. Right, to learn the last bit, we're only going to do the first part of this song. We're going to do almost the same shape now to finish off. You just had, do you remember, 4th finger was on a D and thumb was on an A, and you were doing. Well, the outside fingers are going to stay in the same position. Okay, the thumb is going to stay on the A, and the 4 is going to stay on the D. Okay, so that was thumb on A and 4 on D. And what you're going to do is, instead of having the 3 neighbouring strings being on D, E, and F, and the gap above, you're now going to put the gap at the bottom, and you're going to put 3 neighbouring strings then towards the thumb. So what that means is you've got D, you've got the gap on the E, then you're on the F, the G, and the A as neighbouring notes. Okay, and this is the final bit. You have to go D, D, F, G, and then you place to come back down on the same notes. Okay, So this is the really big one. If you've not worked on placing before, I think this is one of the biggest stumbling blocks, the biggest brick walls we have to like bash down when we're learning the harp, is really getting to grips with when to place. So we had all 4 fingers down placed, and when we get to the thumb on this little bit, we put the fingers back on, and there's place and play in there and yada yada. We can't go into that now, but when you place, you come back down. So you've got all the fingers on. So that is why I went on and on at the early beginning of this about shape, okay? About learning the shapes, okay? So that last bit is the different bit. The shape has slightly shifted, but it's very similar. The outside notes have stayed the same to the bit you did just before it. And you're going to go D, F, D, F, G, A, G, F, D, D, okay? Up and down the harp like that. Okay, brilliant. So let's try that. We'll try because it starts on beat 1, doesn't it? So I'll give you 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to do 1. Okay, so doing it by ear. Remember, you can watch this video several times. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do that again. 4. So we're on D, F, G, and A. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Place and play. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's put it together. Okay, so we're now going to be going back to the original shape. So this is, remember that shape, 3 neighbouring strings and the interval of the third, the gap at the top. So D, E, F, A. And you do that shape twice, then you move down, and you do that shape twice, you come back. Yeah, and then you swap the shape at the end, don't you, so that you get the 3 notes at the top. So let's try. And for those of you, some of this probably feels quite different to some of you into the way I'm teaching this. By the end of the course, this feels comfortable with the way I'm describing it, and I will do it differently on that video anyway. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so we're going to go A, F, E, D, D. We do that twice, and then we're going to come down twice. We're going to go back up and do this twice. Okay, and then we're going to swap the gap, yeah? So the gap comes down to the bottom for that last bit. Now, if you're already further along in your harp journey, you can copy. In the course I teach, in the full course I teach how to put the left hand in, and they teach the B section of the tune as well. But if you like, you can take the note each time that your 4th finger in the right's going to play and put it in the left. So when you move, so the 4 is on the C, you play a C in the left. And that works as an accompaniment. Does it work all the way through? I think it does. Sorry about the buzzes. Okay, there's a slight difference at the very end. When you play the A, you have to go down to the C and then come back to the D. And that will give you a very, very simple accompaniment, okay? You can make that open 5ths, again, if you're ready for that and you're playing right now. So let's try it, okay? Remember, you can watch this video several times if you're thinking that you like this and you want to do it and you've never done it before. And if you want to learn the other half of the tune, it's out there in loads of different places on the internet. And it's in my start. I was just thinking if I published it, I haven't. It is in the Virtual Harp Ensemble as a solo, so you could even go into that and get the music for free. As a duet, sorry. So you could go in and get that for free if you wanted to. If you want that, put me a message and I will sort that out for you. Okay, so here we go then. Let's do it. So I'm going to count you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll come in. Do it by ear. Don't worry about the counting too much today, unless it's already easy for you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Place again. 6, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Move down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Move back up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Change the gap. So the gap's now at the bottom. Coming back down the hill. Brilliant. That last bit, I think of it going up the hill and then coming down the hill. Okay? If that helps anyone. Marvellous. Thank you very much. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And in the online courses, you can speed up and slow down the videos. If that's felt too fast or slow, you would have that option to speed up and slow it down. Thank you for giving this a go. And if you are interested in any of my courses, check out fairplayharpschool.com. And there are other taster sessions at other courses, so you can just jump in and try some other bits and bobs for free as well. Thank you for watching. My name's Shelley Fairplay, and I hope to see you online soon.